All right, folks, so we have a lot of stuff to go over with Nintendo Switch 2 yet again. Not quite as many stories as we had built into yesterday's really jam-packed 25-minute video. Man, what a beast that was. But we do have some stuff going on right now in regards to when we could be expecting the Nintendo Switch 2 to be announced in January. Remember, we've gone over this before. I've got my own source. Other people have said it as well. Nintendo Switch 2 being revealed in January. But there's 5 weeks. Like, it takes place in 5 weeks of January. So it's actually a fairly large window to reveal the system. We also know that Donkey Kong Country Returns Definitive Edition HD, I think it's HD, that's releasing on the 16th. That is a Thursday. So we've been wondering when it's going to come out. And I could speculate away. In fact, I made a guess yesterday on the Nintendo Byte podcast. We'll see if that guess is correct. It's not based on any actual information, but we now have a couple rumors, both conflict a little bit, on 2 different weeks in which Nintendo Switch 2 could be revealed. We also have some additional information coming from The Verge because they were able to get even more clarification and verification of a certain Reddit leaker than we had previously seen before, and that gets really exciting when we consider one feature all of us, I think, would love to have on Nintendo Switch 2. And yeah, so we get to hear from some unique individuals here. So I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Just want to let you guys know we're on the road to 140,000 subscribers. If you're enjoying the Switch 2 content, I would appreciate if you would subscribe to the channel. Let's first go over, and we got this article from The Verge here where it says the Nintendo Switch 2 and its dock as described by the mystery Reddit leaker. And you can see the key text there. I am now largely convinced, all right? Largely convinced that the next handheld is legit. Now, this article is by Sean Hollister, a senior editor and founding member of The Verge, who covers gadgets, games, and toys. He spent 15 years editing the likes of CNET, and Gizmodo, and Engadget. Now, the evidence he's gotten are 2 images of the supposed Switch 2 dock from this Reddit person, and then one showing the side view of the Nintendo Switch console with a Joy-Con attached. So you can see like the mechanism in which the Joy-Con attaches to the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, he obviously didn't share any of these images, but he's convinced they're pretty real. I know Spiromancer, one of the moderators and guy who runs the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit, actually did receive those images as well. And while he's not sharing them, he drew the new one that everyone's talking about, the side angle one. He drew an image that doesn't include everything, but includes at least the mechanism in which it plugs in. And you can see right here, yeah, it looks fairly interesting. But really what matters here is if this person's legit, and they said they're going to drop new information or new images or something on Christmas. So that's pretty exciting. There's a couple things I want to highlight that we covered before that now seem more believable. One of those is that they did say that there would be Hall sensing control sticks. That would basically eliminate drift. Technically, there's no such thing as 100% drift-free controllers, but Hall sensing sticks are much harder to drift and much more durable and last a hell of a lot longer, even over the sticks that are in the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series. So that would be a big boost for Nintendo, a big boost to consumer confidence that we're not going to have to worry about drift if they're using some sort of Hall sensing sticks. Remember, there are already Hall sensing third-party sticks you can replace in your Joy-Cons today. So this technology already exists for that sort of form factor. All Nintendo would have to do is license it or make it themselves. We have seen Nintendo with some Hall sensing patents in the past. Those seem to be for larger control sticks. But hey, maybe there's Hall sensing sticks in the Pro controllers, so maybe that's what those were for. I don't know. It's one of those things that we have to wait and see. But the other exciting thing, and there's a number of things he put out there, and I'll link to a post that has a summary about it down below, is the wattage. So essentially he's saying the Nintendo Switch dock can take 60 watts in. So you can use a 60-watt wall plug, and the Switch itself can use 45 of those watts. To make you understand how big of a leap that is, the Nintendo Switch currently in docked mode uses like 19 watts. It's very small. So this is a rather large jump. It's either 19 or 29. Now that I'm thinking about it, I can't remember what the exact number was. It might be 29 watts. Either way, 45 is significantly more power being supplied to the Switch 2 than the original Switch in docked mode. So that is going to obviously be because it's a much more powerful system and it needs more power to get a boost. Also, 45 watts is way more than it would ever be in handheld mode. So that obviously suggests that there's a rather significant boost to performance when you put it in the dock. So those are the 2 most exciting things, I think, from that person, at least until they put images out there. Again, I've seen a couple of the images, but I haven't seen the side look one personally. So we'll see what happens here. Am I convinced it's real? I think there's some red flags, but also those red flags could be explained away. So it's kind of one of those things where we don't know if it's real, but we'll find out soon enough because Christmas is next week, right, guys? So the guy's about to drop a bunch of images or stuff on Christmas. I mean, come on. We're less than a week away from that. Or, yeah, less than a week away. It's Thursday now. So that's where we're going to leave that story. But I did just find it really interesting. Now, the stuff you're obviously interested in, guys, is this ability to talk about when the system's going to come out. So first, we're going to talk about NinSpider. Now, why are we talking about NinSpider? He's a user over on Family Boards, and he did a machine translation and put things in Japanese this time. But the reason we're talking about him is because he's been dealing with Nintendo Switch 2 leaks for roughly a year. And some of the things he said a long time ago seem to have come true with the 3D scans, such as a new button under the home button on the right Joy-Con. He is the literal source on that. There's nobody that said that was happening before him, and now we have the 3D scans, and now that's just a known thing to exist. He said a couple other things, too, that were proven through shipping documents over time. So reality is that NinSpider seems to be really, really reliable, but nobody knows who he is. Not even the moderators at Family Boards actually know who this person is. They come in, they drop a little bit of info, and then they vanish for a while. Last time they were dropping info on the dock. That's where we had those crude drawings of what the dock looks like. I'll show them on screen right now. But whatever, we obviously aren't 100% sure if that's the case. I will say one of those crude drawings looks kind of similar to the image I saw of the Nintendo Switch 2 dock, but we'll leave it at that. But what I do want to focus in on is what he actually said. So because it's in Japanese and I don't natively read Japanese, we're going to rely on machine translation, which in this case should be fairly accurate because he admits he used machine translation to turn English into Japanese. So if it transferred one way, it probably cleanly transfers the other. So let's see what he said using Google Translate over here. And it says, "Hello, I survived the ninja chase. For some reason, I'm using machine translation to write Japanese this time. This may be the last post before that time." And then he says last post, that time being the reveal. Here's some solid information. The Pro Controller has 2 new buttons added to the back. And the back buttons on the new Joy-Con are most likely for input, not release. Now, he's saying most likely he doesn't know if they're for input or release. But what he is saying is that the Pro Controller has 2 new buttons on the back that you can use. Guys, that literally matches the Pro Controller leak we just talked about yesterday. Like, we just talked about that, and then this person comes. So now we have like 2 different sources saying the Pro Controller actually has buttons on the back. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty exciting if true. That also shows Nintendo's not afraid to add a standard feature from some third-party controllers to a first-party one just to make the Pro Controller 2 feel like a more premium upgrade over the original Pro Controller. So that's pretty exciting. Of course, analog triggers is what I really want to hear, but that's not what we got. Let's get to the rest, though, because you guys want to know when the hell is this being revealed? Well, he's got some unconfirmed information. So this sounds like chatter, but we're going to get to why that chatter might matter. So there's some unconfirmed information, but that time may be a week after the Japanese New Year, but it's also possible that it's just new information about Xenoblade Chronicles X. There probably won't be any new information in December. I hope you all have a great holiday. Now, the Japanese New Year ends on January 3rd, so then we're going to the second week of January is what he's referencing, or the first full week of January, if you want to look at it like that. Now, what's interesting here is he's basically hearing some chatter that could be the week Nintendo Switch 2 is revealed. But if it's not that, maybe it's just something for Xenoblade Chronicles X. Now, I think it would be weird if they're advertising Xenoblade Chronicles X when it doesn't come out till March 20th and then advertising it a week before Donkey Kong Country Returns HD comes out. I kind of think Xenoblade Chronicles X marketing will begin in February. I feel like that makes a lot more sense, just like we're getting heavy marketing for Donkey Kong Country Returns HD in December when the game comes out in January. I think heavy marketing for Xenoblade Chronicles X is in February for March, right? I think that's just Nintendo's usual pattern. A month to 6 weeks out, they start to market and push. So I don't foresee them doing anything big with Xenoblade Chronicles X to kick off January, especially right before Donkey Kong Country comes out. Now, you might go, well, okay, if you don't think they'll do Xenoblade Chronicles X before Donkey Kong Country HD comes out, why would they do Switch 2? Well, obviously, they announced Switch 2 is backwards compatible, so it could have less impact on software sales than you think it does in a negative light. So there are people that think, hey, software sales, negative light, what are we talking about? So I get that. So I do understand that there is some trepidation that maybe it affects software sales, but it probably doesn't. The other thing is that some people think it'll happen after Donkey Kong Country. We'll get to that in a moment because the this isn't the first time we've heard about this early January thing. You guys know Samus Hunter threw out there that, hey, she's here and it might be revealed before Donkey Kong Country comes out. Again, that second week does make the most sense because that's literally like after they're done with New Year's, so they're done with their vacation and they're back to full-time work in Japan. But there's also a journalist in the industry that has indicated something similar. Now, again, sounds like chatter. Neither one of these guys seem competent, but this comes from GameIndustry.biz. So there is a micro podcast that they do that Christopher Dring was on. Now, Christopher Dring's been kind of hit or miss with some of his Nintendo stuff in the past, but he does know that he has heard some chatter about this early January, shortly after New Year's thing, which the week after Japanese New Year's was literally like the soonest possible time. So, James says, I'm not surprised Nintendo weren't at the Game Awards. They're keeping their cards close to their chest until they can do the Switch reveal, which surely, if we're looking at Q2, has got to be early next year. Then here's where Christopher Dring chimes in. I mean, it's chatter. Big emphasis on chatter, guys. But I want to stress this chatter before Nintendo everything or whatever it calls starts reporting my comments as fact. Again, chatter is not a fact. Rumor, right? It's just chatter from other people. They think, I'm told, it may even be right when the new year starts, which is great for someone who may have just left their job in the media. We might be getting some sort of Switch 2 reveal or at least something. And again, that something could be Xenoblade Chronicles X, as Ninspider says it might be, but he also is indicating that he thinks is, right now the chatter that Ninspider is hearing is probably Switch 2. So is Christopher Dring. Now, that's not the only date that's being floated out there, right? That's a week, by the way, that I just guessed randomly on the podcast. I said, I don't know. I knew what the Japanese New Year was. I knew when our New Year was. Kind of get past New Year's week. And I'm like, yeah, maybe they just decide to reveal it right away coming into January, just because why wait, right? Why wait? We're in 2025 now. We're past the holiday sales period. Why wait? Well, we have another date being thrown out. In fact, an exact day. This is thrown out by Nintendo Talk. If you guys remember, he put up this tweet where he was talking about how, hey, he has heard from a major third-party source at a major company that it's going to be revealed in January. I corroborated that with my own source from a completely different major third-party company. So yeah, January we're very, very confident it's being revealed next month. But he actually heard an exact day. Now, I'm not going to speak for him because I think it's best that he speaks for himself. He said it and revealed it on the Nintendo Byte podcast that he's a co-host of, along with me and Thunderstash and Eric Moore. Here's the clip. Here's what Nintendo Talk had to say about what he had heard.
So, I have heard a date. Now, here's the thing.
Whoa!
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's a reason why I didn't include it in my tweet, because they weren't 100% sure on this date. So I didn't want to put anything out that was a guess. I just wanted to put. So it's going to be January, from what I've heard.
Well, this could be a guess now. It's just a podcast.
A guesstimation.
So my contact is from a major third party. I've already told these guys.
Yeah. We're not.
It's a mate. Like, can you back me up? It's major. Like,
it's
major third party.
Yeah, it is major.
It's
huge.
So they were basically told from Nintendo, like, be ready in January is basically what it says. Now, I'm not confirming like an event. It could be as small as like a tweet, like, get ready for it. But they are going to be saying something in January. What extent that is, I don't know. Yeah. The date that I was told, and again, can everyone in the chat just like, can we just chill out? The date I was told is the 23rd.
Huge.
And it makes sense here.
So it makes our
sense.
podcast, damn it.
Right.
Can't be the day of, had to be the day after.
It makes sense because I think this is just a guess now. I think that they're going to go hard with Donkey Kong. I think they're going to make a big deal out of it.
Sure.
Literally, the name is Donkey Kong Country Returns. Like, I feel like they're going to go all out. They're going to make it seem like a new game. Donkey Kong is a big, freaking character. So, yeah, I think they're going to go crazy with that. If you announce the Switch 2 before that, you're killing all momentum. Like, no one cares about anything at that point. So, 23rd makes sense. What is that? Thursday?
Thursday. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Thursday. That is a day to do announcements.
But again, there's a reason why I didn't include that in my tweet.
So, Nintendo, do me a favor. If it's a reveal trailer, pre-announce it 24 hours ahead of time so our podcast blows up. Thank you.
Well, it's a week. It's a week. Or do it on a Friday when our podcast is on.
We'll just have to do it again on Thursday.
No, here's the thing. We're heading into we're heading into reveal time. We talked about this a long time ago. We've already have an agreement behind the scenes. The day it's revealed, we're doing a bonus podcast regardless. Like, it's just happening. We're not messing around. It's revealed podcast time. We're not messing around. I don't care if it's a Sunday, podcast time. We're gonna make it happen. So I have a feeling as soon as you can put that podcast up, I'm gonna have a bunch of YouTubers DMing me. I need to come on. Yeah, okay. Fine. Put them all on. We'll have 50 of them on. I don't know.
Right.
I can only have 12 guys. Sorry. Only 12 people. Now, again, remember, this is just chatter. And it's possible that 23rd date isn't the reveal date of Nintendo Switch 2, but rather a major marketing date for something from this company for Nintendo Switch 2, and that maybe Switch 2 was already revealed before then. But it is notable that is the week after Donkey Kong Country HD comes out. So if you think Nintendo doesn't want to interrupt that marketing plan and would rather reveal it after that game comes out, that is a very good week to do it. It's also about 10 days or so before the investors meeting, where obviously Nintendo is going to talk about Nintendo Switch 2 again, just like they did last investors meeting. So if you think they're going to reveal it before then, like Nate the Hate and others feel like they'll do, then that is a pretty solid candidate. That is, week 4 out of January. But I'm very curious how this is going to work out. Those are obviously the 2 weeks we're looking at, the 23rd or obviously the second week in January. We're not going to have to wait long, guys. I mean, after all, Christmas is next week. January begins the week after that. It'll be literally the week after that would be one of the rumored weeks that Switch 2 could end up being revealed. That's 2.5 weeks or so from now. So I'm just going to sit back and see what happens, but I'm really excited about this. Again, I'm only confident in January. I don't know any dates personally. My contact is not giving me any actual dates, just the month of January. So either way, it feels like it's closer than ever. And regardless of January, even if it's not revealed in January, play a little devil's advocate, even though I have a source, it's going to be by March, right? Like, it's not going to be any later than March, and Nintendo's going to say something at the February 4th investors meeting. So, yeah, I kind of just think that, it's January, it's happening. What week it is anyone's guess. Obviously, they have a game coming out that they're kind of maybe dancing around. If they want to do it the week before, or they want to do it the week after, whatever. I don't think they're going to do it the week of. So that's maybe the only week I don't think. Week 3 of January, I'm kind of like, nah, throw that in the trash. It's probably the week before, the week after, or the final week of January, right before the investors meeting. But that's what we got. That's the information that's out there. A couple conflicting rumors, and I'm calling them rumors, guys, because that's all chatter really is. Chatter is definitely a rumor. There's no confidence in it, but it's kind of like, hey, people are talking about the 23rd at this one company, and multiple people are talking about that second week, seemingly in January. So we'll see what happens. And if it does happen, all the better, because I think all of us at this point just want that damn reveal. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am Nathaniel Rovajans from Nintendo Prime, and I'll catch you in the next video.